So I've just opened up Blender again. You can see that right at the top of the recent files in the splash screen, we've got what I saved at the end of that last video. I saved it as end of video 01, and now I just need to click on this and it opens straight up in the same state, from the same viewpoint, and also in edit mode. So let's dive right in. I want to go to face mode, so I'll hit 3, and you can see the center of every face is now shown by a dot. I'm going to select the eaves that are facing us, left click, shift left click, and hit Control F. Extrude faces. We could also use E, the key shortcut E, or we could use this tool over here. We'll look at these tools later on, but they're fairly self-explanatory, so I'm not going to spend too much time on them. But anyway, yeah, let's just hit E. You'll notice that we see a blue line, which normally indicates a Z-axis, coming directly out of those faces. This blue line indicates the face's normal Z-axis. So this is the direction they're going to extrude, and if we look up in the top left corner of the 3D window, we see D, which is the distance. I'm going to make it 0.2. Just type it in and enter. Right, and there we go. Now we've got the details here. I can change it if I want, but I don't want to, so that's fine. Now let's select the eaves on the opposite end. I'm going to click here, and when we click on something that's hidden in wireframe view, we may very well select something like the face here. We just keep clicking around until we get what we want. Shift click, that works, and again E. We get the same blue line, but now when I type 0.2, you'll notice it extrudes in the opposite direction, because the normal, the Z-axis for those selected faces are in the opposite direction. And I'll hit enter. Very good. And we don't want to change it, so that's fine. Now we want to extrude these 3 faces. There we go. Along this side here. But if we hit E now, we're just going to extrude them in the wrong direction. That's not going to work. So what else can we do? Well, we need to find out what the normal plane is for the plane of this roof. We want to extrude them in the plane of the roof. Exactly in the plane of the roof. And remember, we raised up that original edge an arbitrary amount. So this is not any particular exact angle. It's just however much I eyeballed it. So there's a way to change our XYZ axes to match a particular face. And the way that we do this is by selecting that face and then going to this drop-down menu here, Transform Orientations. We'll look at all these later on, but what we want to do now is add a new transform orientation, new XYZ axes. So we hit plus, and it will make a new XYZ axis based on what we've got selected. And I'm going to call that roof underscore 01, because we have to do the same thing for the other plane of the roof. Right, now we're in roof 01. Let's look at the widget for this. So now we've got a new Z-axis, a new local Z-axis, which as you can see is normal to that face. We've got a new X and we've got a new Y. This is very useful. Click off that and select these faces again. And you notice I'm clicking twice just to select and deselect various faces. Sometimes you have to just spin around a little bit. clicking close to the little dot in the center of each face is generally the best way to do it, although there's an alternative selection mode where we select one face and then we go to Select Coplanar. And where is Select Coplanar? Similar Coplanar. So select Similar Coplanar. And now we've got all four of the planes on that side, and we hit Shift Select to deselect that. Right, can we extrude it along this axis? Let's give it a try. E, and I'm gonna hit Z, Z. No, it doesn't like that. So I'm just gonna pull it out along the local Z axis and see if I can now change it retroactively by going to Orientation and Roof 01. And it's changed it along the Z axis, so it's moved it out at 90 degrees to the roof, which could be useful for some things, but not in this particular case. So I'm going to zero that out. And I'm going to say I want to move it along the X axis, which is this red arrow here, 0.2. Enter. Oh dear, it's gone in. I didn't look at the direction of that arrow. Positive is along the direction of the arrow. So I'm going to just put a minus in front of that. Enter. All right, and now we've actually got an eave that follows the line of the roof. And this plane is exactly coplanar with the rest of the roof. Right, let's do this for the remaining side. I'm going to select the main face. It could be any of these faces, but I'm going to select the main face. And again, go to Roof 01, which is the drop-down transform orientations, plus. And it makes Roof 01. Let's change this. It's going to be Roof 02. So now we've got Roof 01 and Roof 02. This one is redundant, so I'm going to select it and just exit out. Roof 02. Okay. And again, you can see the blue Z-axis points directly out of that face. Now we want to select all these eaves. Select one of them. Indeed, we could actually just select the side of the house. Why not? Let's just do that. And we'll go to Select by Similar Coplanar. I'm going to deselect by holding down the Shift key, clicking close to this white dot. We have that. And then I'm going to hit E.2. Not that it matters. 0.2. Remember, we can hover over this, Control C, hover over this, we don't need to click, Control V, hover over this, Control C, hover over this, Control V. And now, orientation, Roof 02, perfect. You notice now it's in the positive direction. So that's a little confusing. You would think it would be a negative direction, like these ones, but it's actually positive. So be careful about that. I think we're good. Let's go to Shaded View. We've got a little house with 0.2 meter extruded eaves all the way around. I'm going to say that's probably enough for right now. And let's just move on to the next. Before I do anything else, though, I'm going to go to File, not Save, because I would save over End of Video 01 Blend. I want to go to Save As. And you'll notice this is now in red. It's warning me that if I save with this name, I'm going to overwrite my original file. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to hit the plus over here. Interesting. Now it's automatically renamed it to end of video 02. I don't even need to go clicking in and typing in 2. I just hit the plus or the minus, save as. And now we've got this safely saved for the next video in this series.